On the lava flows of the Kona Coast, my family learned just how Native Hawaiian ingenuity allowed these people to survive in a harsh landscape, and we discovered firsthand why, in this special corner of the world, wildlife will come right up to you to say hello. Just south of Kona International Airport lies Kaloko Honokōhau National Historical Park. In this hot place, where the sun is ruthless, there are few things that can survive. But this place is special because it holds something critical to the survival of Native Hawaiian populations who used to live here. It's also a special place for one marine animal in particular. I love national parks because they offer guided learning environments for people of all ages. Ava particularly enjoys their Junior Ranger program, which she officially joined on this very day.
Mikey Ranger Bug!
We entered the park from Honokōhau's small boat harbor closest to Honokōhau Bay. It was only a short walk to the beach where we were greeted by the halau wa'a, or canoe house. The tide was very low, which offered us an easy viewing opportunity for green sea turtles, which we spotted right away. All along the beach there was a border of green plants.
Feel how fuzzy that feels, Ava.
And these plants had adapted well to hot, dry climates using some pretty unique adaptations.
This plant right here is made for the sun. You can see how it has like this silvery kind of film or silvery color over the leaf. It's actually these tiny little fine hairs which help to keep it from drying out in the sun.
We wandered out onto rocks to see what we could find. The farther we walked, the more mesmerized we became by the landscape. The ground was essentially an ancient lava flow that had been beaten by waves and eaten by algae.
I can see why Native Hawaiian peoples wanted to settle here despite it being so hot and dry. This place feels almost spiritual in a way that is really hard to describe unless you are here. These rock formations are just really blowing my mind. What? What do you see? You see a sea turtle?
Here and there we noticed green sea turtles that had crawled from the ocean into the warm safety of shallow tide pools to feast on algae. We nearly made it to the end of the tide pools, and I noticed the beach ahead.
Ava, don't stop. We gotta keep walking to the fish pond.
What lied beyond it would tell the story of exactly how Native Hawaiians survived here in Kaloko, Honokōhau.
What do you see?
A fish pond.
Aimakapa Fish Pond. The pond had formed naturally, where fresh water from springs below the earth mixed with seawater during incoming tides. It had been modified by the Native Hawaiians to hold and grow fish that could sustain them in this dry landscape. And then on the beach side of Aimakapa Pond, I could see the remains of a Native Hawaiian fish trap, an artificial saltwater pond where fish could enter at high tide and become trapped at low tide. Our family walked back towards the canoe house, and I left Ava and Chris playing in the sand, and I made the short trek to the other end of Aiopio Fish Trap near the site of Pu'oina Heiau, the last great ancient Hawaiian temple ever built. At first glance, it looks like a rock pile, but on closer inspection, it was clear that each stone had been carefully selected.
Wow, this is definitely, from an engineering perspective, pretty impressive.
We had explored much of the cultural importance of Kaloko Honokōhau. Now it was time to see some wildlife in its natural habitat. Don't be fooled, this water was really cold. But under there I could immediately see the algae, which covered the lava rock floor like a thick carpet. From this perspective, I could also see the structure of the fish trap, whose rocks had been less carefully placed than at the temple. By this time, Chris and Ava had also wandered out into the fish trap, and together we watched the turtles. This time, they were everywhere. The fish trap was like a superhighway for turtles, who could easily come and go from the sea into the safety of the traps, even if their comings and goings were quite slow. It has been written that the spirit of Kaloko Honokōhau was the life that flowed in its land and the water that washed upon its shore. The Hawaiians who cultivated this shoreline lived in such harmony with it that they became one one with the land and the sea and the spirit that moved through it. And I was so grateful that we could share it too, even if it was just for a day.